What's going on, guys? This is Hold the Door DFS at Fantasy Sports Insight. We are going to be talking hockey tomorrow. We have a four-game slate, and actually only 3 of the games are going to be included on the classic slate. During this time, just as I mentioned before, I focused a little bit more of my attention on the showdown slates just because the last minute news and the line changes and the pushback start times, it's really can be difficult at times to, manage that slate that covers, 8 to 10 hours. So I will just briefly touch on the Bruins Hurricanes game right now. Pastrnak was out last game. I don't know if we're going to expect to see him back. I think in showdown, I think you can either, decide to, if Pasternak's back, I think he's definitely a lock just because of his shot on goal floor. But you could use him and one of his other line mates like Bergeron, and then use Rask. If you like the Boston side, if you think it's going to be pretty even, you can play Rask and Mrazek or whoever's in net for the Hurricanes, and then use Pastrnak as your other stud. And then you'll have to probably play or pay down after that. So I do think the double goalie in showdown, if it's not like a 4-5 game, has still been really popular and profitable, as long as that scoreline stays like under 5, like if it's like 3-2, and if there's enough shot volume. So I think if you're not going that route, I think it's you just want to probably correlate rather than taking a bunch of one-offs and just hoping something hits, because the chances of that happening are less likely than the goalie to score 10 to 15 points even in a loss. So Aho has also been really good. Dougie Hamilton is back and won them the game last time out. So I wouldn't mind going back to him. He's always a great cash play. But let's move on. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's move into this games that are going to be on the slate for tomorrow. For the classic slate, we have Colorado against Arizona. I prefer the Colorado side, just like the bookies do here. Colorado minus 190 with the 5.5 over under. Not really expecting that many goals, and that's partly due to Arizona's style of play. It slows it down and a little bit more defensive. So I do like Colorado. We'll talk about McKinnon, but obviously I think he'll be one of the top targets on the entire slate. The next game we have Tampa Bay, minus 180 favorite, who just lost to Columbus after Columbus ruled out Cam Atkinson last game. The playoffs are crazy, man. This stuff is just unreal. You would have thought Tampa Bay would just ran them over, but minus 180, they get another shot. Again, over-under is only 5, even lower than the Colorado-Arizona game. So I think there's definitely some nice value pieces in this game, but I don't know, especially on the Columbus side, but I don't know that we're going to see as many goals as we might see at night. And that will be between Vegas and Chicago. That will probably be my most heavily exposed game in Classic. Most of my exposure being to Vegas, as they are the biggest favorite on the slate at minus 210 with the biggest total of 6, with a little bit of juice on the over. So they definitely like there to be goals in that game. All right, so let's get into I'm going to go position by position. Nathan McKinnon, 8,500, is the most expensive player on the slate. We haven't really seen his upside since the restart. He's had, but look at how consistent he's had 10 plus in every game. But we haven't seen like the 3-point game or the 2-goal game. So I do think that's coming, and I think in cash he is the safest play with the most upside for someone like him, Nathan McKinnon. Braden Point, 6,600 feels really cheap, just in his role, especially when Stamkos wasn't there. But even when Stamkos is there, he's putting a ton of shots on net. He's likely to be part of any Kucherov goal, whether or he have a goal and Kucherov assists. He's just part of that combo. So I do really like Braden Point at 6,600. William Karlsson is not somebody in the past that I targeted very much. And most of that reason was because he didn't have a lot of peripherals. He didn't have the shots on goal. He didn't have the block shots. But we are seeing that shot on goal total come up a little bit. $6,200 is still a little bit pricey for cash with not a lot of floor. But I think if you're correlating him with his line mates, which I think last game, I'd have to check back. I think he skated with, let me double check. I think. All right, so last game it was William Karlsson skated with Mark Stone since Pacioretty was out, leaving Chandler Stevenson in that role. And then the second line ran with Stastny, Marchessault, and Riley Smith. So, I mean, you could pair Karlsson up with Stone. I don't know if Patches is expected to be back here tomorrow. No update. So I don't know. You know, if he's not, if Patches is not in, that takes me off Karlsson more, and I would prefer to just go to the Marchessault line. I actually prefer going that route anyway. He's been on fire, just crushing the playoffs right now. We'll get to the winger position, but I do like Marchessault quite a bit. Jonathan Toews has definitely played better in the playoffs, but again, similar to Karlsson, he's got a pretty low floor in terms of shots on goal, so he needs to get behind a couple of assists to get value. Now, Kadri has shocked me. Today he kind of came back down to the earth, but 7 shots on goal, 5 shots on goal, 3 shots on goal, 6 shots on goal. That's not something that we even would see from him when he was in Toronto. Just someone who plays in front of the net quite a bit. So those shot totals, I think, are a little bit of an outlier, but I think he is definitely valuable there. Stastny at 4,500 is a really nice value play. Again, low floor, but if you correlate him with someone like Marchessault, if Marchessault scores, Stastny has a good chance of assisting on that goal. But 4,500, you're getting like a $1,700 discount on Karlsson. He definitely has a little bit lower floor than Karlsson, but if you need that extra salary, I think that's viable. Stefan was pretty disappointing today. I thought he'd do better. He got the bump up to the line with Taylor Hall and Clayton Keller. He's still a decent value there. Kirby Dach as well continues to just play massive ice time. And he's just not getting the price increase. So 3,500, he's on the ice 19 minutes, 21 minutes, 20, 23. I mean, some of these were a little bit of overtime, but locking Kirby Dach is probably the best value on the slate at the center position at least. That's probably all our go. So Dubois has been obviously a freak for the Jackets. He's just kind of stepped up when they need somebody, and I like those guys for playoffs. All right, Kucherov, $8,000 for one of the best scorers in the league. What I do like here quite a bit too is you're seeing a shot on goal floor. Now some of these again have been in overtime games, but 4, 5, 4. This is not something that we normally saw him a ton in the regular season. His shot floor maybe would have been like 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4, but he didn't really average any more than that. I do like them to bounce back here, but I prefer Mckinnon to Kucherov, and I also prefer Vegas cheaper than Kucherov. Kucherov is still a good play. I do like him quite a bit. It's just not my first guy in at the moment. Ratnin struggled today. Again, he can struggle if he doesn't get behind a goal or assist from McKinnon, but I think he's a little overpriced at 7,200. Patrick Kane, we know has elite upside, and we saw that with the 3 assist game last time. Really was shocked by the shot on goal total was pretty low, but I do think someone like Patrick Kane in an environment with Vegas is always in play. Mark Stone, as I said before, he was skating with Karlsson, and he did score a goal on that line. That line is a little bit less appealing when Patches is out. So I do like Marchessault a ton. He'll probably be one of my core plays. Riley Smith at 5,300, another player for Vegas, has been insane in these 2 games against Chicago. 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 shots on goal, 4 shots on goal. So I really like pairing him with Marchessault, and then deciding if you want to use Stastny to complete the stack or use a defender like Theodore or Schmidt to also kind of complete that trio. Taylor Hall is in play. 6K is insane that we're even talking Taylor Hall that cheap, but that's kind of based on his performances lately. This is kind of interesting. Nemestikov, excuse me, going to leave the game. And I don't remember. I did not see who skated with them the rest of the time. He was skating on the first line with Ratnin. And I think if there's a chance we see a Burakovsky, or we even see like Landeskog move back up to the front line. I think if he moves to the front line, 5,700 is way too cheap if he's on the top line with Ratnin and McKinnon. So just monitor those line rushes tomorrow because I would assume he's likely out. Foligno has been really good value. Nyquist is value. Donskoy was a late scratch today. Texier and Fody continue to also smash value every single slate, 3,200, 19 minutes of ice time. He had the assist. That's all he needed for the value. And then you got Fody, 16 minutes of ice time for 3K. He had an assist. We know he had a goal a couple games ago. He's actually created himself a floor for that price tag. So I like it. Chandler Stevenson is in play if Patches is out. 3K, 3,100. Not as nice of a floor as Fody and Texier, but he could be used in a Vegas stack. Moving on to defender. Shea Theodore, 6,800. I think it's deserved. Last game was a little bit disappointing, but he's just been so active offensively. Like, he's just part of everything. Every time the puck is near his stick at the blue line, he's looking to shoot. So I love Shea Theodore. 6,800 is definitely a breaking point in terms of price that you might have to fade just because of price, depending on what other pieces you're getting in. Our next play is Victor Hedman, who's also been really good the last two games. 6 shots on goal, 9 shots on goal, 5 block shots. Again, I know this one is obviously inflated, but Victor Hedman is a great cheap option to stack with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov. Both the defensemen for Columbus are always in play for me. Seth Jones has averaged the most time on ice of any defender in the entire playoffs, has a really nice floor. Werenski's the same thing. He's always in play for the block bonus, is really active from the blue line. Nathan Schmidt is somebody I think you can definitely look to target as a value off of somebody like Theodore if you can't get that spot. Moving down a little bit further, Ekman Larson is too cheap. Chikrin, I'm kind of off. He's been not as good lately. Savard is viable for the price tag. Demers could get the block bonus. Otherwise, down here, the options are not really that great. Shattenkirk is viable. McDonough is viable. These guys are decent punts, just not something that I like going out of my way. Martinez had a really nice last game, 17 DK, ton of ice time. So he's definitely in play. He's one of the top block shot defensemen in the league. You see here 4 block shots, 7 block shots. So I think he is viable in cash, definitely as a value defender. So, excuse me. This slate I think is pretty nice. Stack Vegas, probably use McKinnon and maybe Landeskog if he gets the value, or use Point, Kucherov, Hedman. I like that 3-man stack as well. Because I do think it's pretty easy to use Riley Smith at Marcia's show as a 2-man stack for Vegas, and then maybe use Theodore or Schmidt or Alec Martinez as another third Vegas piece. So hopefully you guys are able to use this video to help you build for NHL for tomorrow. Give this video a subscribe, or give our channel a subscribe. Hit the like button. Give us a comment. Hop in our Discord channel for core plays on every single slate. And that will be it. Hopefully you guys have a good night, and I will catch you on the green side of this slate when you are winning some money. Later.